Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Bonk, and today we're going to cover my top 5 melee weapons that I enjoy to use in Warframe to eviscerate everything. To make both myself, as well as this list clear, I don't have access to every melee weapon in the game. And these 5 I've chosen are picked purely from my favorite few to wield, as well as ones that can keep up power-wise. But again, this list is based on the melees I can use and have used. That's also why it would be super appreciated if you guys comment on your top 5 melees. That way me and everybody else scrolling through the comments will be able to make an educated choice as to what melees they should be hunting down and building. Also, check out my Warframe/YouTube Discord in the link down below, and if you're interested in joining the clan, just comment your in-game name down below and say so. Everybody's welcome. Okay, video time. Let me explain real quick how this is going to go down. I'll start by saying that the order of the list does actually matter. The weapon I place in rank 5 will be less powerful and useful than, say, my number 1 pick toward the end of the video, so make sure you stick around to find out. I'll also be sharing the builds I'm running on each of these weapons, although not going super in-depth into said mods. Most likely we'll just be throwing up a screenshot for a little bit after I name the weapon. So pause if you want the build or want to try out the build. I'm then going to tell you guys a little about the weapons and why I enjoy to hack and slash with them in any node across the star chart. I'd also like to mention that there will be gameplay in the background of these weapons as I'm explaining, but it's not insanely high-end gameplay, just a few relic runs, so you can see how much fun you can have with these things on the right Warframe and with the right build in more average missions. That's not to say that these weapons can't keep up in endgame, just more fun in my opinion to run around meleeing in not endgame content. Just, it's fun that way. The frames I'll be using in the footage will be a Volt with a melee build on him, and a Wukong, because they both are super good for melee builds and just running around with a melee.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So, that being said, let's head into the video, and my choice for number 5, Oma. I love these lightning sticks. A weapon obtained from market blueprints, this thing packs an incredible punch and is super cool looking aesthetics wise, as well with the lightning coming off of the melees when you attack. But aesthetics isn't all Oma has got to offer. It boasts an above average damage stat as well as a great status chance stat. And that cool looking electricity I mentioned earlier isn't all looks. It also is a guaranteed proc on slam attack for electricity on enemies in that radius, and even just the normal attacks will intrinsically apply an electricity status effect to the enemy. The downsides of the Oma are its low attack speed, which can be remedied easily in the modding of the weapon, and it also has a kind of low crit chance, but this weapon has a crap ton of status, so it helps to negate its lack of crit. So, nonetheless, this thing is incredible with an investment into its build, and for sure something I would say to at least go and try out, and you may be surprised. And the best part is, most of you watching will be able to get the blueprint easily, because it's not only just a market blueprint like I mentioned earlier, but it's only MR8, so it's pretty early game. That's all I'm going to say on the Oma. Why don't we head into something a little more powerful? Number 4 on my list is going to have to be the spinning disc of destruction and big booms, the llBonkll Prime. A throwable melee, but still extremely powerful. Although it is a vaulted relic weapon, so it is a little harder to get your hands on. The numbers may seem low in the gameplay behind this one, but that's because I'm still working on upgrading the build, so it hasn't quite reached its full potential just yet. But anyway, llBonkll Prime has some very large amount of power behind it, especially with a returning explosion throw build. It's crazy fun to use, and you just toss your frisbee over and over, blowing up sections of enemies. This thing has a lot going for it. Let me just list all of the great stats the llBonkll has a hold on. Firstly, it's the fastest flight speed of all of the llBonklls, so you'll be tossing that thing non-stop. It also has really fast attack speed, very high crit chance, and deals intrinsic slash damage, and with a mod that almost everyone will use on this thing, that causes an explosion, you'll be dealing blast damage. The explosion caused by the heavy attack with the right mods equipped will also be an explosion that penetrates walls. It has a great status chance as well. The only thing that brings this down are its below average damage stat as well as its low riven disposition, but don't let that scare you off. If you can get your hands on this thing, or even the normal version of the glaive, definitely go out there and do it. You'll be pleasantly surprised with how much entertainment you can get out of tossing a TNT frisbee. Now that we're all done with that guy, let's take a look at our third pick. The third weapon worth whipping out is the Dragon Ninkana, a variant of the normal Ninkana as well as a variant of the Ninkana Prime, which I wish I had. I only need one more part for it. But the Dragon variant works just fine anyway. You can get the blueprint in the market for this shiny piece of metal. Not only is this one of the best melee designs and one of the only ones I have visible when holstered, but it also shreds non-stop, and you definitely feel like a space ninja running around with this thing. It has really good slash damage and also comes with 2 intrinsic polarities. It hits some nice crits and again is just so smooth to attack with, so it's got its spot cemented on this list. Let's head to number 2. Redeemer follows on the list after Ninkana because of its pure versatility. This Gunblade of Mayhem can do it all, and do it in style. It has very clean animations and allows for easy mode kills with the right build. It has an amazing crit multiplier, crit damage, status chance, and just damage in general. And even better, all 10 of its pellets have a chance to proc a status effect, making this thing nasty when paired with Condition Overload. It also has innate blast damage, which is aight, but all of this stacked together makes this shotgun sword a definite grab. You got the close range, the long range, and the fun. But also, this and its variant Redeemer Prime come in handy in a few mastery rank up missions. And trust me, some of them get a little tough, and having something specifically useful for a certain version of a mastery test, it can be pretty helpful. The early ones are easy, but once you get later, they can get pretty tough. And finally, now let's go to the number 1 pick. My favorite melee I have, and one that is pretty nasty, the Tenet Grigori Scythe. Not only does this Grim Reaper's techno-looking farmer's tool look incredible, but it's not just a pretty face. It has a bunch of other aspects that make it a great choice. First of all, using the heavy slide attack will launch a disc of ricocheting energy with the lifetime of the disc being based on your combo counter. But it will also pause your combo counter when you holster this weapon because of something called the Corpus Attaché system. Not only that, but being a Tenet weapon, it has the capability of reaching level 40 and comes with an innate status that can be increased with duplicates. And on top of all of that, it's not even from running through a whole sister. Instead, you just go talk to the parent sequence dude, Ergo Glast, and you can buy it. To get the mats, all you gotta do is run railjack missions. But his inventory is on rotation, so you may have to wait for it to show up. But we're not done. We're just getting started, in fact. It has the highest attack speed of all the scythes, tied with a few others, and the 3rd best status chance of all the melees. The spots above not just being 1 weapon each, as the number 1 and 2 spots have weapons that tied, just like how there's weapons tied with Grigori in the 3rd spot. So there's probably a good bit above it, but a bronze medal still gets you on the podium nonetheless. As well as all of that, it has phenomenal crit chance and damage, making this thing an enemy shredding machine. I hope everybody enjoyed. That's the list. My favorite melees at the moment to run around with. Maybe leave a like down below, or possibly, maybe, perhaps, perchance, hit that old subscribe button. Thanks for all the support lately, everybody, and leave a comment on your favorite melees, or even a video idea suggestion. Also, make sure you check out the clan/YouTube Discord down in the description below, as well as a link to my Twitter. I've been Bonk, and good night.